Everyone in today's world is trying to be more productive and get more done. But what if I was to tell you the key isn't to work more hours, but it's actually to take a break and give yourself a day off in order to accomplish more? What's up, team? Welcome to another Psychology Fitness Lab podcast with your host, David Mykel. So today I want to talk to you about something that keeps coming up in my space, especially as an entrepreneur and working with people who are high performers, is that we think we're being lazy when we simply do nothing or we take a day off. Now, this can be true for some of us that maybe take too many days off or are not getting a lot accomplished. But for most people in life, and especially if you're a high performer, you are definitely one of these people who is putting a lot out there and getting a lot done. We're always trying to figure out how to be more productive, how to get more done, how to get more hours back in our day. Now, trust me, it's one of the things that I wish I could get more hours in a day. I wish I had about maybe 27 hours. That would be probably perfect, so I can get a few more hours of work in, a little bit more movement, and definitely a little bit more sleep. But what if I was to tell you that the way to get more hours back in the day, the way to get more productive in what you do, is simply about taking time off? Actually taking a full day off to do nothing, to not think about your business, to not think about work, to not check your phone, to not check your email, to not just be engaged in anything that has to do with your work. Now, this may seem like a crazy concept for a lot of people, and I totally get it because it was for me when I first realized this. And then the more I started practicing it, the more I started realizing how healthier this was for me, for my health, for my wealth, for my relationships, for pretty much everything in my space. And so what I started doing is I started taking one full day off a week. And what I would do in this day is I would actually put myself into nature. So what I end up doing is that depending on the season, if it's surf season, you know, the weather's pretty warm, so we're going from probably May to maybe October, I'm taking a full day off and I'm going to the beach. And I bring my phone with me just to have it there, but I'm not looking at it. I'm not even really reading. I'm mostly surfing. I'm taking naps on the beach. I'm meditating. I'm just taking little walks. It's beautiful. Now, if it's more winter time, or climbing season, I'll end up going for a full day in the mountains. I'll go snowboarding, I'll go rock climbing, but just being out in nature heals. Now, why is that true? We got a few things that come up when we talk about this, but we'll talk about one of them is a Japanese concept called forest bathing. Now, this is something that's been in the Japanese culture for millennia, and it's actually been exposed to be one of the key contributors to living a longer life. So for those of you who don't know, Japan has two main blue zones in their very small country. And what a blue zone is, it's an area where people live longer than the average time span for most humans. And so in Japan, they figured this thing out where they use forest bathing. And forest bathing means literally going into the forest and bathing. Basically just being around the forest, letting the forest enclose you and just be around nature, be close to trees, walking on the grass, smelling the fresh air. And you're literally bathing your conscious, you're bathing your body, you're bathing your breath, you're bathing your brain, your body, and your breath in nature. And if I realize anything about nature is that it simply wants to heal us. It's one of the crazy concepts that I came across from one of my good friends, Damien, who said when he goes into nature, he actually can feel nature trying to take all the stuff that he's been taking on all week. And as a manual therapist for him, he's dealing with people's pain constantly. Just like I am, I'm dealing with people's pain as a psychology fitness coach. And you may be dealing with people's pain at work, right? People that come to you with all these problems, or maybe it's your spouse or your partner or your friends, and they come to you with all this stuff. That stuff gets heavy after a while. And we need to actually have an outlet for this to come out. So this forest bathing is great because nature has figured out a very efficient and succinct way to create homeostasis. It is. The forest is homeostatic. The ocean is homeostatic. So when you put yourself in these situations, you're actually allowing your body to get rid of all these bad things, all the bad energy, all the bad toxins, all this kind of stuff. Now, maybe this one's a little too far out there for you. If you're still sticking with me here, I'm actually going to give you the neuroscience reason of why taking a day off to literally unplug and do nothing else really works. So we have something called association neurons in our brain. And now what these things do is what the name implies is they associate the different things that have been going on in your brain, all the information that comes through the visual cortex, and they make associations. And so what does that mean? So your visual cortex, aka your eyes, take in 11 million bits of information a second. Now that's pretty impressive, but it has a problem to it. Our brain can only process about 40 bits of information a second. So we're looking at 10.9999 million bits of information that are actually not being processed. And so this is why we'll have some of these crazy dreams sometimes of all these amalgamations of things that have happened in our day. This is why we'll have instances where we'll just think about something that was totally random, but that's our brain just coming back on. So why is it important to take this time off and allow these association neurons to kick in if this is what's going on behind the scenes? Well, when your association neurons are allowed to work, they'll associate all the random things that you've taken in throughout your day. And what they do is they come up with these patterns or these matches of things that you were not able to consciously come up with because you were thinking about them too much. How do we know this? This is where we have these amazing ideas in the shower or in the car or things like that, right? We're laying in bed and we weren't thinking about something and all of a sudden we have this amazing breakthrough about what exactly I need to do with this situation. Oh my gosh, this is how I'm gonna solve it. Oh, this is the person I need to talk to. This is what I need to do. That's your association neurons working, and they only work when you allow yourself the space to not be focusing on that typical thing. So what you can do, take that full day off break, or if that's just not part of your DNA, I encourage you to make it part of your DNA, or if you just want to try this out a little bit, if you're at work and you get stuck on something, get up and go for a walk. Get up and try any of the exercises that we have in our psychology fitness tools. Any of those exercises will definitely help you get those association neurons to come on and let your brain figure out what it's supposed to do and that conscious and subconscious to come together. So again, I know this can be a really weird theme for people who are like, you want me to take a full day off? Yes, it's good for your brain, your body, and your breath. You're allowing yourself to be around nature, as I encourage you as much as I can to be out in nature. Even if you're not a nature person, it still works. Letting your brain just kind of detox and let go of all the stuff that you've been taking on, right? Letting your breath just be clean and clear and not labored with ease and freedom. All this stuff happens when you take that simple day off, team. So I want you to think about this. Where in your week can you create some space for these association neurons to work? What day can you take off? Maybe it's a half a day. Maybe it's a full day if you're able to. Giving yourself 4 to 8 hours is kind of the recipe that you want. Like I said, for me, it's a Friday. I go to the mountains or I go to the ocean, depending on what season it is. And it's been a huge game changer for me. So team, let us know in the comments and below what you're doing in order to make this happen. What places in your life do you feel association neurons kicking in? Or where have you actually seen this happen? Well, team, that's it for today's Psychology Fitness Lab episode. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hit us in the comments below if you got any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that I covered today. And if there's anything else that you want us to cover in the upcoming Psychology Fitness Lab episodes. Remember, team, we do this for you because we want to help you use psychology fitness to train your brain, your body, and your breath, that you can have the limitless lifestyle that you love.